Welcome to this explainer. Look, I want you to picture this exact scenario. You're sitting at your desk, staring at your end of month accounts receivable report. Your staff is literally working overtime, the schedule is absolutely packed, and the waiting room is full. But the cash, it's just not hitting your bank account. It feels like you're running twice as fast just to stay in the exact same place, right?
So, we're going to skip all the usual background fluff today because the uncomfortable truth is simply this. Your practice is leaking money. Right now, today. And it's not because of some massive, catastrophic event that you can easily spot. It's happening because of invisible patterns in your daily, routine operations. You aren't just suffering from scattered random billing errors. You are suffering from a structural leak.
Working individual denials without zooming out to look at the broader pattern, it's exactly like putting a tiny bucket under a gaping hole in your roof instead of, actually patching the hole. Your team is running around frantically emptying buckets all day long. They look busy. They are incredibly busy. But the roof is still leaking. Simply touching single claims is just treating the symptom. Managing the pattern, that is how you cure the disease. Here is the reality check you need to hear. One denial? Okay, that's just a simple billing error. Happens all the time. But a repeated pattern? That is a blaring management signal. If your practice is only working denials one single claim at a time, you are completely missing the story that your data is desperately trying to tell you. This is the exact moment where a simple, everyday billing task officially escalates into an owner-level issue.
So, you're probably wondering, where do these leaks actually hide? Well, a pattern is never random. If you have a physical stack of denied claims coming from one specific payer, that's a pattern. If one of your providers is generating, say, 30% more denials than everyone else just because of their charting habits, yep, that's a pattern. Or what about an eligibility error that repeats endlessly at the front desk? These are not coincidences, folks. They are highly predictable and, more importantly, highly preventable revenue leaks.
And what happens when nobody steps up to manage these patterns? You cross right into the danger zone, the 90-day mark. When no one tracks the root cause, your AR aging over 90 days completely balloons. This is the exact painful moment where a delayed payment mutates into a permanent write-off. Your staff gets totally overwhelmed, those strict appeal deadlines blow right past you, and that hard-earned money just evaporates. Now, think about how your overloaded staff is actually trying to survive that massive 90-day backlog. What if I told you that their absolute favorite new shortcut to fix these denials is, at this very second, opening you up to massive practice-ending compliance risks? That brings us to a hidden threat in your office workflow that should honestly make you sweat a little bit. Welcome to the AI revenue leak. Now, the issue isn't that AI exists or that it's inherently a bad tool. Not at all. The issue is that it is very likely operating entirely unmanaged inside your practice right now. No owner visibility, no human validation, and absolutely zero patient privacy safeguards. It is just happening quietly in the shadows. Let's make this super concrete. Imagine Sarah at your front desk. The phones are literally ringing off the hook, she is super stressed, and she has a massive stack of denial appeals she needs to write before 5 o'clock. So she quietly opens a public AI tool, like ChatGPT, pastes in some patient data, and asks it to draft an appeal. Boom. She gets the job done in seconds. But she also just completely exposed your entire practice to federal HIPAA violations. And here is the truly dangerous part of this shadow workflow, the false confidence it creates. AI is incredibly good at making incomplete, unsupported, or totally incorrect work look flawlessly polished. The grammar is absolutely perfect, the tone is highly professional, it looks so good that your team just naturally trusts it, without ever pausing to verify the medical or billing accuracy. Because of that super polished surface, massive compliance risks are hiding right under your nose. The AI might generate weak appeal language that automatically loses the claim. Or it might invent fake billing logic out of thin air. It risks severe PHI exposure into public servers. And worst of the whole shebang, zero audit trails. You have absolutely no idea who prompted what data actually went in, or how the final decision was even made. So this leaves us with a really critical problem to solve. You know the billing patterns are leaking money, and you now know these AI shortcuts are creating massive legal risk. How do you actually stop this invisible bleed without bringing your busy office to a screeching halt? Well, you act as a pragmatic manager. You cannot fix what you cannot see. So here is the exact step-by-step framework you need to implement tomorrow morning. Step 1.
We have to stop treating the symptoms and start managing the denial patterns. We are going to build a solid fortress against those permanent write-offs by asking 5 very specific, concrete questions. And look, do not just ask your team if they are working denials. That tells you absolutely nothing. Ask them these specific questions instead.
First, locate the heaviest bleed. Ask your billing team, what are our top denial reasons by dollar amount? Not just volume, because high-dollar denials are what really hurt today. Second, which specific payers are driving them? This usually reveals changing payer rules or aggressive delay tactics. Third, are these denials concentrated by a specific provider, a location, or a procedure? Because concentration points a giant neon arrow directly at the root cause.
Next up, question 4. What percentage of our denials are actually being overturned? If your team isn't even writing appeals, you are basically accepting financial losses by default. And finally, question 5. Which of these denials could have been completely avoided upstream at the front desk? Think about eligibility, authorizations, and basic demographic errors. You've got to fix the leak before the claim ever leaves the building.
All right, once those billing patterns are finally visible and the roof is patched, you must immediately move to step 2, audit the shadow AI workflow. You have got to stop these unapproved AI revenue leaks before they trigger a catastrophic compliance fine that you just can't afford.
Now listen carefully. Please do not go out and buy more software right now. Just don't. Instead, have a candid, honest conversation with your staff. Ask them, where is AI currently being used, even unofficially? You have to make it a safe space for them to admit it. Second, strictly ensure no patient information is ever entering public AI tools, period. And third, mandate an absolute role. A qualified human must review all AI-generated output before it ever impacts a claim or a patient.
Let's wrap up with this thought. As a practice owner, you hold the ultimate responsibility for the health of your business. And honestly, the risk that hurts your practice the most isn't the software you formally approved, and it isn't the single denied claim you happen to know about. It is the invisible pattern repeating every single week and the shadow workflows you never even saw. So what concrete steps will you take today to uncover the patterns quietly draining your practice? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. I'll catch you on the next one.